Unser nächster Referent war jahrelang Englischlehrer und dann ist er in sehr viele Unternehmen gegangen und hat dort Menschen geschult, gecoacht und denen die englische Sprache beigebracht. Irgendwann hat er festgestellt, dass die Menschen viel weniger das Problem mit der englischen Sprache an sich haben, sondern viel mehr mit ihrer Einstellung und mit dem Thema Glück. Und dann hat er sich überlegt, hey, da muss ich was tun, und hat sich ganz, ganz viel autodidaktisch auch psychologische Fakten angeeignet und hat es versucht, in positive Psychologie diesen Menschen anzubieten, sodass die mehr Glück in ihrem Alltag finden und nicht nur die Sprache selber. Ich freue mich riesig auf Randall Birnberg.
Tonight's going to be in English. That's okay. Is English a problem with anyone here? All good? Is English okay? Yeah? If not, I can out Deutsch sprechen. It's too late. Okay, my name's Randall Birnberg, and I would like everyone to picture this. 2 weeks ago, about this time, if you look at the time difference, I was standing behind a bush. True story. In Las Vegas, Nevada. Waiting. Behind a bush. Why? Why was I behind a bush?
Why not?
There was a bush there. Okay, my mother lives in Las Vegas. And last Tuesday, 2 weeks ago, the 20th was her birthday, her 83rd birthday. And my mother is fit wie ein Turnschuh, as they say in German. And I surprised her with a visit. I didn't tell her I was coming. So I was hiding behind a tree, and I waited for her to come home. It took a few hours. And I came out, and she was unpacking her car. She had groceries. And I said, "Excuse me, ma'am, can I help you with those?" And she looked at me, and I swear she almost had a heart attack. Not a good birthday present. But she was surprised. She just went, "My son, from Germany." It was beautiful. We have it on film, DVD. It's $9.95. A little later, you can buy it. It was a beautiful moment. I went back to Vegas because my mom's getting old. How many people have parents that are up in age at the moment? Yeah. And we talked a lot about Dankbarkeit, and I'm going to also talk about Dankbarkeit. But first, I'd like to tell you who I am. Randall Birnberg from Chicago. I grew up in an Italian family. Actually, Italian, Croatian, Russian, and Romanian. Okay, as an American, I have 4 different cultures. My father's father was from Bucharest. My father's mother was from Odessa. My mother's mother was from Dubrovnik. And my mother's father was from Palermo. Okay, so I'm an American. These are what Americans, who they are. You know, the only Americans are Indians, you know, real Americans. So I moved to Germany in 1999 to Aachen. I met a woman in New Mexico where I lived, and we moved here together. And as Maxine said, I started out as an English teacher. And I realized very early that the culture was a little different than where I came from. I lived in New Mexico for 15 years. Blue skies, sun, 300 days a year. And then I moved to Aachen. It was August 1999, and it was raining. Go figure. It was raining, and it rained from August until Christmas, and then it snowed. And I was like a flower. I was like a dying flower. I came from 300 days of sun to 300 days of rain. And then something wonderful happened. Okay. This was the year 2000. Around February. Something called Weiberfestnacht. Now, I live on the Jakobstraße in Aachen, and if anybody's familiar with the Jakobstraße, it's where the parade goes by. And suddenly, there were people in costumes celebrating in the streets. And then there were people for 5 days. It was just drunken madness. I said, wow, the Germans are normal. It felt so good. And then on Monday, Rosenmontag, when the last Zug came by, you had the guys sweeping up the floors. You had 5, 6, 7 people with their tractors. And then it was gone. Carnival was over. And it was back to there it was, rain again. So I started to drink heavily, and that's how I survived. Carnival is a very important time here. Who celebrates Carnival? If you're in Cologne, raise your hand. Hi. Because I find that there are 2 types of people. There are people who love Carnival, and there are people who escape Carnival. Right? This is how it goes. Either you love it or escape it. But I find that any time people can be happy, anytime people could be happy, you have to appreciate that. Okay? This is how it goes. All right. I'm going to all make you happy right now. I'm going to do an activity before I really begin. It's kind of a continuation of what we heard tonight. You know, positive psychology is basically the science behind all of the things we heard tonight. And I'd like to do something that is a very cultural specific thing. And it's about pride. I want to do a little pride exercise, Stolz. Okay, we did an exercise where each of you told what you liked about the other person. I want you to do the same exercise, okay? But I want you to tell the other person what you're proud of in yourself. Okay, very difficult one. You know, when I have a 19-year-old daughter. We moved here when she was 4 years old. And I used to always tell her, wow, I'm a great father. I told my daughter I'm a great father. And my daughter, as she learned more and more German, she said, Pap, du bist so eingebildet. And I didn't say I was the best father. I said I was a great father. I was proud of being a good father. Okay? So what I'd like to do really quickly is I want you to just partner up with someone else, not who you had last time, and give them 3 things that you're proud of. You can speak German. 3 things that you're proud of. Okay? Okay, how difficult was that? Was it difficult to talk about what you're proud of?
Oh, it was quite easy.
It was quite easy. Why?
Why?
Yeah, why was it easy?
Well, I'm very proud of myself.
Okay.
But he's Dutch.
I didn't want to say it, actually. I wanted you to say that. He's Dutch, exactly. And you know what? I'm American. I'm proud. There's a lot of things to be proud of. Everybody has the right to be proud of something. We all should. We should tell people what we're proud of all the time. Proud to be a good mother, or a father, or a great athlete, or a wonderful friend. Pride makes us happy. It should make us happy. It should make us smile. It's one of these Dankbarkeits. It's one of these gratefulnesses. Okay? I'm going to talk today about positive psychology. And positive psychology has, it covers many things. It covers strengths, working in your strengths. It covers thankfulness, or gratefulness is actually the word. It covers flow. I don't know, who's familiar with flow? That whole idea of, who can pronounce his name, please?
Me. Send me I.
Thank you. Can I take you along to presentations and do that? I can't pronounce his name. Are you Hungarian?
No, I'm not.
Okay. he is. He's Hungarian.
He is,
Yeah, he's
yeah,
Hungarian.
and he has this unpronounceable name.
It's really, I struggle with it all the time, so I shouldn't really use it if I struggle with it, right? So
Why you can take me?
That's good. How much? How much is it?
We can talk about that later.
So positive psychology, does anybody know what positive psychology is? The only guy in the room that knows, okay. All right, positive psychology, basically, let me explain it like this. I had some slides here to work with, but I think I like it like this better. How many people have a therapist?
We're not American.
Thank you for being honest. Very nice. How many people have a therapist and not honest about it?
Okay. I am a kind of therapist.
You are a kind of. How many people think they're a therapist? Okay. Okay, therapy, psychology as we know it, as you know it, basically it really boomed in America, psychology. Analytical psychology boomed in America right after the war, Second World War. Soldiers came back and they had something called post-traumatic stress syndrome. Everybody knows this because it's kind of out and about at the moment. And, I mean, you don't have it, but everybody knows it. And so they had therapists that talk about what had happened, to relive those experiences, to try to make them better. So therapy really took off in America. You know, if someone said that 65% of Americans have therapists, I'm not afraid to say I have a therapist. I mean, if you don't have a therapist in America, you're crazy. I mean, it's that simple. Everybody has, it's a conversation piece. You're out with friends, you're out at the bar. What'd you talk about in therapy today? I mean, it's really small talk. Here, if you have a therapist, you're crazy. It's getting better, right? I think sometimes we all need someone to talk to. I'm not against therapy. So in the 90s, a gentleman by the name of Martin Seligman, who was mentioned earlier, he said, he's a professor at the University of Pennsylvania, he said, why does psychology have to be so past-oriented? Why does it have to be about correcting disease? Okay, he said, psychology should be more present-oriented and more thankful for what we have, take a look at our strengths, like this. So instead of focusing on what we don't have and what we want to cure, the disease model, why not focus on what we do have today and be thankful for it? Okay? So this is where positive psychology went. So positive psychology today is considered the science of happiness. And if anybody's interested in it, you just look up happiness or positive psychology on Google, and the thing just boomed since the 90s. Okay? I'm going to talk today about something that's very interesting. how much of your happiness, how much of your positivity do you think where does it come from? How much of it, if I drew a pie here, this is you, this is your attitude. %50 of the reason why everyone in here is either happy, or more negative, positive or negative. What does 50% of that depend on? I get a lot of arguments.
Genetics.
Huh? Genetics.
Attitude.
No, genetics. 50% is genetic. Isn't that crazy? So people say, well, if I'm genetically programmed to be negative, then I don't have a chance. No, you just have a harder chance. Okay? Scientists talk about a baseline. Everybody has a baseline positivity or negativity. And throughout the day, you go either higher, you're more positive, or more negative. But you come back to that base very often. It's very difficult to move that base around. Scientists say you can do it with Dankbarkeit, with being grateful. Do it with working on your strengths. Do it with service. Service. We are more happy when we're helping other people or when we're giving to other people than when we're giving to ourselves. Okay. 10%? What does 10% of our happiness or sadness depend on?
Luck.
Huh?
Other people. Luck.
Luck? No, something more concrete.
Material things.
Circumstances, good. Oh, you know this. Circumstances. The sun, where we live, money. Money. Okay? It's only 10% of that whole story. So pretty much, I, as a coach, this is what I do. I'm a positive psychology coach. I can't really do much about these two things. 40%. What would be the 40% then? It's what we talked about for the last 3 hours.
Thoughts.
Huh?
Thoughts.
Not thoughts, but
Attitude.
actions. Things, doing, positive doing. It's not positive thinking. It's positive doing. So I like to say is activities. Positive activities. So what can some of those activities be? What do you think we could do daily to make ourselves feel better?
Laughing.
Laughing, smiling is an amazing tool. Thank you.
Sex.
Sex is also an amazing tool. Thank you.
Why did you look at me?
It came from over here.
You heard sex and the first look was like...
Will it sound like a man's voice? I know she's a woman, so it had to be one of you two. And you're looking at me like...
It was important to say.
I see the way you're looking at me. So activities. So laugh, smiling. I actually want to start something in Germany in the coming days. It's called the 3-1 rule. I'm going to try, and I want you guys to take this home with you. I want you to spread the word on the 3-1 rule. It's my rule. It's my story. 3-1. If you're 3 meters away from someone and you have eye contact, you smile. Real simple. Okay? I try this all the time. Older women hold their purse. I smile at everybody. Younger women think I'm anmachen. Men think I want something from them. I see where it is. Okay? And it's really I was, like I said, in Vegas earlier last week, and in America, I'm not comparing, but people smile. You know, people in service smile. Maybe they're not happy, but they still smile. It's nice to smile. I get these stories that Americans are superficial. Yeah, so what? Smile at me when I go into a bakery. Right? If I go into a bakery, I don't want some woman going, hello, but Connie Shrezzy tune. You know, I want someone to go, hi, how can I help you? Okay?
Next.
Yeah. So another thing that we can do, the one. So 3 meters away, you smile. 1 meter away from somebody with eye contact, you say hi. That's all. You say hi. We're positive psychology and all these things about relationships. We're in relationship to someone else. We're all here tonight because we want to be in a group. I mean, I think I'm going to say none of you came here tonight because you thought you'd be alone. You came here tonight because you're a social being and you want to be with other people. Pretty close here, too. Did any guys get any phone numbers? Women get any phone numbers? Yes? Okay, so 3-1 rule. I ask you to go out when you walk out that door, try it. Okay? Another thing, we talked about thank yous, doing thank you letters. What I do every morning is I write a thank you to someone. We talked about it. I've been doing it for 2 years. There's always someone you can thank. Now I'll give you my email address. You can thank me for tonight. There's your first email tomorrow. Okay? Another thing that I like to do is every day is get out for lunch. Raise your hand. How many people actually leave their desk, they leave their Facebook account, they leave YouTube, and get out for lunch? Go outside and take a walk. Be honest. Okay?
Not every day.
You have to do it. You got to get away from your desk. It's very, very important to walk away from your desk. You deserve it. Okay? Another thing I like to do is before, at the end of the day, my girlfriend and I, before we talked about gratefulnesses as well, at the end of the day to lay in bed and say 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for with your partner. Every night. We've been doing it for 2 years. And I don't need to give you statistics about it. I can tell you how it feels. It feels great. I sleep better. I wake up better. Throughout my day, I'm looking for things to be grateful for. Okay? And Petra, you said it earlier. You said that wherever we put our attention to, it grows. Wherever you put your attention to, it grows. Why not put your attention on things that go well during the day? Okay? It's your choice. Okay, now I've been in Germany for 15 years, and I've been working in companies for 15 years. And I hear a lot of people complaining about stuff. Right? It's a complaining culture. I'm sorry, people, it's a complaining culture. But we have it made here. We live so well. I mean, talk to Bayan about going to India, what they have there. You know, we have such a wonderful life here. And we have to see those things. Okay? A couple of other things I do. In my relationship, and this is for all of you, in your relationships with your partners, with your boss, with your children, you're not allowed to criticize them. No criticism. We don't have any criticism in my house. My daughter's not allowed to criticize me, and I'm not allowed to criticize my girlfriend. If she wants something from me, she can ask. Okay? The question has rules. It has to be positive, it has to be concrete, and it has to be specific. I'll give you an example. 2 years ago, I moved in with my girlfriend. It was her house. And when I leave the bathroom, always, I leave the light on. Okay? Well, there's a reason for that. When I grew up, my father always said, turn the lights off. What are we, Edison? Okay, Edison was the inventor of electricity, for those of you who don't know. And I hated it. Now my girlfriend started saying, she didn't say, what are we, Edison? But she said, why are you always leaving the lights on? I said, whoa, what would you like? Let's make some rules here. Okay? This is how I started in this relationship. What would you like? She said, can you please not leave the lights on? I said, no. Positive. Can you please turn the lights off when you leave the bathroom? I said, no. I told her no. I could say no. I pay the bill. She said, okay. Okay. A couple days later, in the kitchen, I'm the house mom. The kitchen is picobello. I come from a restaurant family, kitchen has to be clean. My girlfriend doesn't put the dishes back in the dishwasher when she's finished. So I said to her, Katya, can you please put the dishes back in the dishwasher when you're finished with the dishes? She said, no. It's my house. I do this all the time. I said, I'll make a deal with you. I'll turn the lights off in the bathroom if you put the dishes in the sink, in the dishwasher. She said, okay. Lights in the bathroom are off. Dishes are in the dishwasher. Okay, so this is how relationships work. See, I got not a lot of time here. I'm going to finish with one last story. Salutas. I talked about my mother in the beginning. My mother is a beautiful woman. I really learned where I get my positivity from. It comes from my mom. Never complains. Life is great. And was talked about earlier about something called thanking people while they're alive. And in positive psychology, we call it a gratitude visit. It's called a gratitude visit. So what I did when I left Las Vegas 2 weeks ago, or 1 week ago, I read my mother a letter that I had written on the airplane to Las Vegas. It was a gratitude letter. And before I left my mom, I sat her down at the kitchen table in her house. And I sat there and I read to her all the things that I was grateful for that she did growing up. Mom, thank you for changing me when I was changing my diaper. Thank you for feeding me and taking care of me when I was sick. Thank you for teaching me to be on stage here and to use my strengths, because my mother was also very flamboyant. Mom, thank you for supporting me as I lived in Italy and New Mexico and then moved to Germany. You were always there for me. And Mom, most of all, thank you for giving me those things to pass it down to my child. Because my daughter has the same gifts that I got from my mother. And both of us, I got to tell you, both of us were just crying on each other. And it was the most beautiful moment of my life. Okay? And then I walked away. And I went to the airport, and I got on a plane, and I came back to Germany. So I leave you with this because it's your choice to be happy, to be sad, to be angry. It's all your choice. Focus on the positive, and it'll all be cool. That's it.